light. We're only 15 minutes
Don't
late.
worry, this is still within my my normal time span.
Yeah.
I am late very regularly.
Regular.
Yeah, I should
It's my
do
stomach
my
issue.
announcements.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like to be late, but this is...
My stomach
everyone
issues
was late
cause
for
me to be late a
reasons.
lot.
Yeah.
It's very
I need to have
obnoxious.
I have my flashlight pointed into my face, just so I have lighting on my face.
Meow meow.
You know what I should do? I do have one
Hmm.
thing I should do. I should change my
Scream as
background
loud as you
image
can.
here to be something dark, because I am the dark GME person.
We're all like super different looking.
We are. It's great. People can tell what's what.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just go insane. Should I just be crazy? I'm gonna just be crazy.
Crazy. I was crazy once.
Oh my god.
Haha. Gosh, it's been 20 years since I drew that. Yes, that is Seika, the person who made the Ra emoji. Queen Alina in my chat very much likes your angry emote.
Thank you.
All right. Why
The
did I
angriest of
close?
emojis.
Why did I close that? I need that. I need Roll20 open. I need everything open.
Actually, that reminds me.
All right.
I didn't have Roll20 open. I got my dice next to me. I am set.
Ooh. Oh no! Don't. Discord, go away for a moment. Thank you. There we go. Discord
Am I
was
downloading
synced
anything?
up.
No. Good.
And then make sure I'm not broadcasting anything I don't want to be. Okay. So, what software are you two using? Because my chat is asking.
VTube Studio.
VTube Studio. Okay. Well, I think that's the thing that I stopped using because it was annoying me how many system resources it consumed.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It
Just
uses a shit ton of resources.
my model doesn't work on VC Face, otherwise I would be using that.
Well, it is what it is. So. Where is... oh goodness, I cannot find my GM notes.
Danger. Notes gone missing. Finger.
Meow meow meow.
Meow
Meow,
meow
meow,
meow
meow.
meow 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 meow. I found out my problem. I am on my wrong. I was on Google Sheets for my
Whoops.
dead name.
Ah.
I placed my coffee down on a pen and almost spilled it.
I got my copy.
I got all my stuff.
Woohoo.
I think I have everything now.
I'm gonna
Wait, I need a browser open.
I'm gonna position myself in a more comfortable place for GMing.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
If I don't have my browser open, my CSS doesn't work.
I see that.
Oh.
What do you mean you see that?
Then I don't see it.
I don't know what you're saying.
I thought you were saying something involving your model.
No, it's nothing involving my model.
Oh.
My model is fine.
Pop, pop, pop.
If I don't have Discord up visible, it doesn't like capturing this for the stream.
Yeah, as it happens. Okay, I'm pretty much ready.
Okay.
I believe I'm all set.
I'm still finagling things because I only have one small window and
No.
it's changed how everything needs to be set up so that I can see things. Okay. That should do it. I will rely
Just gonna check my
upon
audio sources.
I'll rely upon chat to tell me if stream goes down. I don't need to see OBS. All right. Whew. So, previously on Fantasy World, or no, what was it?
Probably.
On the Wayfinders versus the Blight. This is where I ask. This is where I let my players tell me what happened last time, so that they
I
can
don't do
refresh their.
recaps.
Yeah. So you can refresh in your own mind what happened.
I at
And
least know
Meow,
that we
meow,
left off
meow.
with my character's uncle attaching that bond with the wind, like Call of the Wind, just to be able to keep eyes on me. And a reminder
yes.
to watch for his son.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just about to work on heading out for our journey.
Yay. Okay. I need to
Yarni.
adjust this one more time. Okay. Yeah.
Our grand
Art and
Yarni.
emo music today.
I don't have any music today. What I should do, if you're doing art, I should kick them out, kick my stream chat over to you, and then keep my stream going for the VOD. So let me farewell my chat unless you decide not to go. Seika's raid settings do not allow me to raid at this time.
Yeah, I thought we changed it, but it just doesn't want to work.
Well,
So there's like a requirement.
Rip. Yeah, that's fine. So, those who want to
Okay, I just
watch,
posted the link for
Seika
your
going.
channel on my server.
Yeah. And if you're in my server, it should automatically have flagged in other streams when Seiko went live. So if you're watching this on my stream and want to see Seika and aren't in my Discord, you should click the button to join the Discord. Wow.
What's the Discord?
The trash heap. The Great Gabo trash heap, where I keep all the shinies I steal from everyone. And then we burrow around and we dig, and we make like, you're in there. How do you not know?
Sparkle,
I know, I saw
shine.
what is the Discord.
Aha. It's despair. That's what it is. So yeah, it is the middle of the night. You have just left Kestra's uncle's
Looking at post
place,
references. Who's gonna
and
push the mute button?
and
We're almost set up, I guess.
yeah. So you've just left in the dead of the night. What do you do? I guess we'll just open and drop it right back into your lab.
um, thinking.
I'll open my rules reference on my phone so I don't have to have yet another window open.
Why not? Don't you want 20 windows open?
I don't
That's
have
what I do. I have like 20
space.
things
I don't have
open.
space enough on my screen for that, and I am getting a little older. I'm not like that old yet, but I am.
Sneaking up. Peekaboo.
God, I'm gonna be 38 in a month or two. I don't know. I have children in high school. I'm old. Okay. But anywho, yeah, it's the dead of night. You've just departed from the uncle's home. What would you like to do? I turn it right over to you because
Well, I guess leave.
Yeah, that's probably
leave
the only thing.
leave to where?
We don't know what's past here.
I don't know.
We just go somewhere. We don't know
So
what else
Yeah,
there
we
is.
just leave.
the map that I've
We don't know
drawn would
anything.
show your current sort of knowledge of the local world. So I've put down locations, but like you don't know what their names are. You just know this in this area is a thing. So you do have some sense of what's going on, and that you can use to direct where you want to head towards.
We can't even figure out where the
Well, I
map
don't know
is.
any of this is.
Oh, I should. It's in the Roll20, and I need to put you in there. There you go.
Oh,
That's
there.
my fault. I
I
forget
roll
that you
20.
can't just freely change what screen you're on in Roll20 like you can on Map Tool.
Wait, so we do know that there's more cats?
Yeah, you know about you know that in the south of the woods there's a catfolk village. So if you want to go towards it, you can. But these are like approximate locations, and you'll notice there aren't like names for the villages. And there may be,
Pull
and
it out and
are,
add.
other things.
Roll 20 sitting here staring at me.
It's eyeballing you. Careful, it might steal your soul.
I guess we just head south.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's probably the closest we can try to get to getting to actual civilization is off towards the south.
Okay. So so basically I'm running the feed in for the journey move because that's a move that you're going to be making quite a few times. So if you don't know the way, it's not a journey, and I decide what happens. So actually, you're right. This isn't a journey yet. You head off towards the south, which means I need to check my little fellowship map and ask what's in the south. What's in the south in the dark, in the dead of night? Hmm. All of my
It's what the
threat.
gremlin side. My internal thoughts.
No, the gremlins are not in the south. They're in a different direction. It's the dead of the night. Oh, goodness. So, as you're trudging along through the darkness, you hear the hooting of the owls. You feel the chill of the forest air, the moon shining down between the leaves. And as you get further and further away from the grove, the blight sort of thickens on the trees. They become more black, they become more shot through red. Some of
Meow meow.
them kind of pulse like they have veins on the outside of their surface. Fun place to be away from the grove.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Um, and along the way, you start to hear what sounds like a child crying in the woods. What do you do?
Hey, let a
Um,
child out here.
does it sound like it's really far away from us?
Well, I mean, it's close enough that you can hear the whimpering of a child. Let's say it's off to the east.
Yeah, meow meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
So what do you do?
Um,
What
I didn't
do
mean to open that window.
what do Kestra,
Kersta,
Kersta?
you're good.
Oh, just wait until just I can't even pronounce my best friend's name properly, so it's not uncommon. Kersta
I can't even
and
pronounce my own
Juno.
name.
What do Kersta and Juno do as they walk in the dead of the night through the increasingly blight-ridden woods and hear the sound of a child crying off to the east?
My
Which would be,
tablet pen's not working.
oh no.
Technical difficulties. Gotta love it.
Wow. Uh, what's the technical difficulties music?
I have no idea.
Da, 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 da. I can find it.
Something that makes noises.
It's
That's what it is.
Okay, that's enough of that. I don't know if that's copywritten or not. Just oh my gosh, it takes all my self-control not to go and just click and check the my IRL Magic Cube Discord channel right now because they just pinged me and I'm
Put
broadcasting
yourself on
that.
Reddit and just be like, hey, we are streaming. No talkies.
Oh yeah, no, I have 12 hours to respond. If they're pinging me, it's because it's my turn to pick a card in a roto, and I have 12 hours to do that.
Can I reopen my art software?
Whoa.
Yay, technology.
Yay, technology, indeed.
This happens sometimes.
The times of some.
We had 15 minutes of just running late, and now we had 15 minutes of getting the VTubers working, and now we have more technical difficulties.
I mean, my VTuber worked immediately.
Yeah, mine worked immediately too.
I
just had
guess
to
mine
determine if I
actually
was using
worked. I was
OBS
just
or not.
picky. I was just picky. Just saying the only person whose VTuber didn't work immediately is the one who made it from scratch.
Probably.
Uh,
I'm not
well,
very artistic in
Alright,
that
there we go.
way.
I'm not
Musically,
very
I'm very
yes.
artistic.
Yeah, I'm not very artistic, but I am go through and put all the armatures on the bones neurotically. I
I'm
think
just a music kind of artistic. That's pretty much it.
I don't know if my tail is showing up. I don't think it is. But I have a
No.
tail and I have armatures on it, so once I get shape keys working for my mouth, I want to figure out how to get like an automated animation on the tail going. And like
Yeah.
sync that into everything. And then I can like go through and just have it sway in the background. Maybe,
Mine's there. It's just lower down on the model.
yeah.
It swings around like at the base of my legs, but I don't try to put like the entire model on screen.
Yeah, that's how I want it to behave normally, and then I want to be able to like when I do the emotion keys and do like
Hmm.
angry face, I want to like be able to get the tail to shoot up. And
Yeah.
that's related to shape keys again. So once I figure out what I'm doing wrong with shape keys, I will be able to do anything I desire.
Shape keys or shape keys. They're a pain in the ass.
Those are words. I don't
Do
know
you
Yeah, I
what
know
they
don't
are.
like shape keys.
do you know where to like view your shape keys in Blender?
I think.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Because I think that's my main problem is I can't like validate them. So I'm not convinced I'm saving them properly.
We're wandering through the forest. We hear a child crying,
Yes.
and we talk to the sky being about shape keys.
Mhm. Something that we don't understand what it is, but it is a thing.
I know what shape keys are. I just don't know what
I'm
I'm
meaning
doing
our characters.
wrong.
Our characters don't know it.
Deep
For all we know,
arcane.
it's a made-up word.
Well, I mean, it is. That's how it works. That's how words work. But
How about the
yes.
goblin with us?
Lies. That's not how it works.
Lies.
So, child noises. What do you do?
Ew, a child.
Um,
A child crying, sounding sad and alone in the middle of a blight-ridden forest.
with how you're describing that, it's making it sound like it's a bad thing that it's there. So I'm not gonna chance it.
So what would your character do?
Yeah.
Would your character answer
Uh,
this?
my character's probably more scared of actually being out here, just not knowing that something like not knowing what's actually ahead of us. Let alone it's a forest. Anything can be in the forest.
But we lived our whole lives.
You lived in the
Um,
grove. You're a bit a ways from the grove now.
Yeah, but it's still the forest.
Yeah. Well, let's say you're further than you've ever been before at this point. We don't need to.
uncharted territories.
Mr. Frodo, this is the furthest I've ever been from the shower.
Yeah. We don't need to go through the familiar, relatively safe near grove forest. There's not any excitement there. So,
There's plenty of excitement, don't you know?
well, I mean, if you want to go back and fight your uncle again,
This time I'll win.
but yeah. So Kersta is apparently frightened and hearing the child crying makes Kerstra more so. What's Juno's vibe here?
Juno is Juno. She's standing here. She's like, well, why would a kid be all out here?
Why would a kid be all the way out here?
And I like look over to Kirsta and I'm like, hey, do you recognize that whimpering?
I don't think I recognize it at all.
As you speak, the whimpering stops.
Oh, must have solved itself.
And a small voice goes,
I say that out loud.
"Hello? Is anyone there?"
Uh,
Oh god.
it's just,
Why did it go green?
it's just some, travelers, on their way through this forest. I don't trust this. I'd say, like, nudge Kirsta. What do you know about the forest? Is this something that we should be worried about, or is he really a child? I didn't really pay attention to that aspect.
So, it's immediately obvious that the voice at least sounds like a small child and is maybe just outside of the range of your torchlight. The voice is young, the voice is frightened, the voice is nervous, worried, alone. Do you want to know more?
Yeah, let's figure out more.
Okay. So how do you plan on trying to figure out more about what's going on with the voice?
Let's see. Sarah, do you have any ideas?
I think she might be suffering technical difficulties.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Her avatar disappeared. So,
Oh. Oh, her internet might have died.
oh no.
My computer crashed.
Ah. So, yeah.
Fixing everything.
To repeat then what you heard, the immediately obvious is that the voice is small, young, scared, desperate, and alone. And if you want to know more, you'll need to tell me how you plan on figuring out more.
So, Kirsta.
Huh.
Is there any that poses as small children in these woods? Because, nobody ever told me anything beyond the grove.
I don't think there's been any sort of talk on just random children being out here.
Sorry, could you say that again?
I don't think there's been any talk on random children being out here.
Well, that can be true if you want it to be true, that there has not been any discussion or education on that. I will point out that there's a move called Recall Lore. So if you wonder or declare that you know something about the world and can tell me why you would know, then we can trigger a little knowing roll and find out whether or not you do know it. If that's what you want to do.
I'm getting my stuff all set up again too.
That's
Oh yeah, because
A-okay.
all your stuff crashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to fully restart my computer. There we go.
Well, welcome back.
And it is not happy right now.
Oh. Pat computer.
I have a very bad laptop.
My laptop's
Well,
getting very old, but at least it was like a state-of-the-art gaming laptop when I got it.
it's more the RAM
Yeah, I need
from
to
what Seika
replace my
tells me.
CPU.
I just need to replace my entire laptop, which means that I need
Computer.
a job or lots of money. Hello, viewers, give me all your money. But yeah, if you would know, if you feel like your character would know what's going on and you can tell me why, we can see if you do know.
I don't think my character would know since we're as far out as we are.
Even with the High Druid
Alright.
as your uncle.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Even with it being him, I don't think he would have told me a ton. Besides the fact that he just
I
doesn't
mean,
want
he
me to come
wants you
out here.
to, well, yeah, but he wants you to, like to take over or something. I don't think he's worried about you leaving, the grove. I think he's worried about you leaving, like, the vicinity. Like, the forest area.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know if he didn't tell you, he didn't tell you.
Yep, if he didn't tell you, he didn't tell you. And that is fine. But you're back to
Yeah,
a
we'll just leave it
scared
as
and
that.
alone.
It's easier for me.
Yeah, you're back. Which leaves us back at there's a scared sound. There's at least something that sounds like a scared and alone child just out of your torchlight.
So he did that to you.
So,
Meow meow.
what do you want to do?
Arista's at least gonna grab onto her worry stone and start rubbing her thumb on it to try to calm herself.
Okay.
Well, since we have no information, and Kersta's being useless, I'm just gonna walk towards it.
Okay. Who's carrying a torch?
I didn't even know one of us was.
I've been assuming,
I guess I am then.
or you could just both have infravision if you want. That's fine.
Probably
That
just
means
because
it's not my
we're both
cat, it would
carrying
make
a
some sense.
torch.
So
Huh?
maybe it would be Kersta.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. So I can at least see.
So,
But if you don't make decisions, I'm just gonna make them.
I know.
okay. So, you're going over and you're investigating.
Yeah, I'm going over to investigate.
All right. Um, do you have the move list?
No, I don't. I have like a billion Windows open.
Ah. So, what the move you've triggered will lead to you being able to ask from a specific list of questions. So, I wanted to have that open for you.
Eh,
Because you are looking around.
I'm sorry, I completely blanked on what you just said.
Um, because
I'm
you're
trying to open
approaching,
Windows.
you have to investigate. You trigger the look around player move, which will
Yeah, I don't have the move list.
give you an ability to ask some questions based on the result of a roll. Oh wait, I have my phone. I can just go in here and poke it at you here. Did I pin it?
I just pulled up the move list.
I did.
Nope, none of the stuff was pinned.
Well, that's
We probably
I
should have pinned
can
it
edit
all.
yeah. That would
Um,
explain
I can't
the
find it.
problem. So let me go do that real quick.
I just pinned it.
Okay. Thank you.
There we go.
So that's the link to the
Alright, so
full
which move am I
rules.
doing?
Look around. There we go. And I've also pinned the PDF to just the rules list.
Awesome. So I am not vigilant at all.
Yeah, the PDF is going to be
So
easier
this is
to.
going to be wonderful.
The PDF is going to be easier for you because the very first page is the general player moves.
Alright, let's go look around.
Okay, so
See, roll 2d6.
plus vigilant.
Can I like check my sheet on roll 20, or do you have to like direct me to it?
The sheet
Oh
is
wait, no, we were
in
using
the.
The
Yeah.
Excel sheet.
I can't have so many windows open. It's eating my resources.
Oh no. Oh, I mean, there isn't a character sheet on Roll20.
This is so obnoxious. I have like 40 tabs open.
Your vigilant is -1.
I got that open now.
Yeah. Ah,
Oh.
we lost.
There goes one. Oh.
Yeah, my PC is loving me right now.
Hello, Rosanna. We're having technical difficulties. Um.
I have so many windows open.
Oh goodness.
You need more RAM.
Like my taskbar is full.
Oh my god.
Wow. It's because you're doing
I
art
mean, I'm a
too,
VTuber. I have to have a lot of stuff.
and you're like a proper
Like I
VTuber.
have my browser. And my browser that's like tool test. Discord, which I usually close when I stream. OBS, my Mixer, VTube Studio, Spotify, my drawing software, my drawing drivers. Few extra stuff that I can't reveal.
I have my
Okay, so -1 vigilant.
I have my VC face, my 2
I got a
browser
7.
windows, OBS, Discord, and the chat popped out. A 7. Well, that is enough that you can ask me one of the questions that is in the list. Whichever one you want to. And then if you end up acting on the result of that question, you will have advantage on the next move that actually requires
What
rolling.
here is not what it seems.
Oh, I love that one. What here is not what it seems.
Yeah, I was thinking about the last two. That one seemed like a good decision.
So, I must answer truthfully and honestly. Everything here is exactly what it seems. As you see, a child, maybe 8 or 9 years old, not an elf, not a catfolk, hiding under the remains of a broken, overturned cart, crying in the darkness.
Oh, that's not good. I run over and are they like stuck under it anyway, from what I can see?
Oh no, it looks like the child is hiding. As you look further, you can
Oh, they're
see
hiding.
you can see several more broken and overturned carts. You can see supplies and trade goods shattered and spread across the forest floor, and dozens of corpses. This was at
This
one
place is
point.
pretty gross.
This was at one point. It looks like some sort of trade caravan that was ambushed and broken by things. As long as Kersta is away with the torch, just your kind of cat night vision alone isn't going to quite be enough to tell what did that. But yeah, Kersta, you saw Juno go bolt towards the edge of the torchlight.
I dropped my dice. I'm trying to get it back from under the desk.
Stop dropping things.
Now we have analog
Oh.
problems too.
It's because I was playing with it
Fortunately,
in
I
my
don't have
hand.
physical dice on me.
We have schedule problems. We have technical problems. Now we have analog problems.
It's because I was playing with
I'm
it.
always stuck on here.
I need a fidget.
Yeah, meow meow.
And I'm trying not to just sit perfectly still because I have that habit.
I always sit still.
I have the sensitivity on my model turned to maximum so that every time I twitch, the model moves. Otherwise, it's just perfectly still. Yeah.
So she like sprints off towards the edge of it, or just kind of like walks off that way.
What do
I
you
just
do,
walked
Juno?
off because I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yep.
And outside of that torch vision cone, I can't see absolutely anything past it.
I mean, you can see the moon, you can see the shadows of the trees, but you're not the one with the infravision.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if I could
God,
make
her
out
hair is a queen.
shadows just sitting on the outside.
Not enough to be sure of anything, although you do see at first Juno's shadow as Juno moves to the edge, and then Juno disappears into the darkness. The little voice goes, "Please don't be more monsters. Please don't be more monsters."
Well, unfortunately for you, I'm not a monster. And I like squat down next to them.
Okay. The child looks in the direction of your voice, very clearly unable to see at all in the pitch darkness.
I'll work on coming up a bit closer, just to see what all's going on, since it doesn't sound like Havoc's breaking loose.
So you're gonna have to get really close.
I know.
Well,
That's why I'm trying to get closer, just so I can at least see you guys, because I can't see you.
and as you get closer, the light will catch the overturned caravan. You can see the shattered carts, the strewn goods, the myriad of corpses pierced through by long nail-like appendages. And as the light approaches and catches Juno from behind, the child looks to her, begins to look very happy that someone's here, and then as the light resolves, the child shoots back into the rear of the cart, wide-eyed with terror. And
Get going, Cruz. So you scared them.
And just goes, "Don't eat me, Kenneth. Don't eat me."
I'll kind of just, in a soft voice, just go, "We're not going to hurt you. We're friendly, I promise."
Wait, what did they say?
"Don't eat me, Kenneth."
Do I know what that is?
Is there a reason why you would?
I don't know. Depends on what it is.
It seems to be a word that doesn't get used a lot in the Grove.
Okay, they probably wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'm going to be assuming that Kersta kind of like gets into a position to see what's going on under the cart.
Kind of getting a little close just to try to be reassuring. Just something like, "Hey, we're not going to hurt you. I promise. I promise we're safe."
And you can see that the child's a small human child, brown-haired, brown-eyed, sort of the ruddy tanned skin of the humans that live south of the forest. And the child looks at Kersta and goes, "A fae." Are you here to take me away to the forest grove?
We just heard you faintly in the distance crying. We were trying to figure out what all is actually going on. And we saw this mess over here. Do you know what happened?
Mom and Dad were on their way with shipments of metal from the dwarves back to... Oh goodness, I need to think of the name of the human town. Oh no. The human town is going to be... Portsmouth. Sure.
Awesome, a very generic name.
Yeah.
It wakes up.
People name things generically, so... You know...
Yeah, half the all the roads in my town are named after trees.
Yeah, it's like... My city only has an interesting name because it's named for the, like, English lord who funded its founding. Like, yeah. Uh, yeah. Like, we were on our way back to Portsmouth, and monsters attacked us.
Like on a scale from I like put my hands close together. This, and I put them really clarified. To this, how big are they?
She kind of holds her hands back apart as wide as they can go. It looks like maybe she's trying to show that they were about the size of the wagon.
Juno nods. And she's like, alright. I think I know what's going on here.
I'll ask the child, are there any other survivors?
I don't think so.
They probably have to go looking.
And as the child kind of wipes some mud away from her face and her eye, Juno, being the one more familiar, will notice that there's sort of the redness of recently contracted blight forming around the edges of her eyes.
Oh, that's not good. I'm just not going to say anything about it. We should probably check for survivors.
Yeah.
Right?
And Juno hops to her feet.
And
I'm gonna like I'll point in one direction. I'll like, okay, I'm gonna search over there. You go search over there.
Alright.
And I just point in the opposite.
I'll tell the child as I'm getting ready to work on heading off, just stay here, you'll be safe. Keep yourself under some cover just in case.
So the immediate obvious is everyone is dead. And so are 3 of the fully grown blight spawn that attacked the caravan. Very much like the thing that birthed itself from the pustule on the tree in the grove. These are masses of almost steel-like sticks and branches, skittering and spider-like, dozens of legs, all thin needle, no solid core. And these ones that have perished are broken and lying in bundles.
Can I check to see if there's any indication on a trail of where, what direction they were killed from?
You certainly can look around and do that. You are our druid, so yeah, it looks like they came from the east and moved off towards the west.
They started in the east and then ended off in the west?
Yep. So it does not look like they were specifically hunting the caravan or anything like that.
They just got unlucky.
I'll kind of check around all the different debris of the caravan to see if there's any sort of notes on what this was supposed to be and where it was supposed to go.
Well, they told us where they're going.
Yeah, they're going to Portsmouth.
Oh.
I
spaced out.
That said, yeah, as you go through looking, you can see lots and lots of just sacks full of ores and ingots. Mostly ingots. Iron, you can see some iron, you can see a little bit of gold, but not much of that. Mostly iron, a little bit of copper, a few other various metals, and a couple of sacks of gems. And on one of the corpses, there is a scroll case that contains a map of the woodlands, labeled very thoroughly in a language that is not Elven.
I'll pick up that piece and try to bring it over to Juno.
Okay.
See if she could read it.
Juno.
I'm gonna look at it.
It is a map of...
I'm gonna squint at it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, what were you gonna say?
It's a map of the forest. It's not written in Elven.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. And I'm going to nod. And I'm gonna look at Kerstra. I don't know how to read.
Wouldn't have mattered even if it was in Elven.
Yeah, I don't know what it says. I just gonna stare at her blankly.
I'll grab the map back and kind of put it in my satchel.
Okay. You can make note that you have a map of the forest.
Gotta figure out where the notes are. I'll just put it in equipment.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That is in equipment.
Ah, okay. Theorist. If I can spell it right. There we go. I'll ask Juno, have you seen anything else in your pile you were searching?
Mostly bodies.
Okay.
I should note that not all the bodies, but several of them are wearing sort of chainmail armor and have long swords.
Mm-hmm.
None of that matters, like in a statistics wise, but that is a situation. There were guards on
Yeah.
this caravan, armed and
Makes
armored.
sense with how many goods that were actually being transported.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a good solid 8 or 9 wagons here. Also of note, none of those corpses are children.
Meow meow.
Mm.
So this is the only kid here.
Yeah.
Oh, what did that just do? Oh, I changed my source.
I'll work on going back to where we ended up leaving off the kid to see if the kid's still there.
The kid is still there.
I'll kind of like announce my approach, just like, hey, is there any reason why you're the only kid among all of these people here?
She looks up and she says, I wasn't. Bren, Kara, and Meek were all here.
Mm.
Oh,
Did Juno hear
we
any
found
of
a
that or no?
caravan. I got attacked by the evil spookies.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Well,
I was saying, like, did Juno hear any of it or no? Of what the kid said?
well, yeah, I walked up to you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you came
I
over too.
reported back what I found.
I'll kind of look over to Juno and be like, so the thing that's sticking to my mind right now is it seems like those other kids might have been taken away or something.
I'm just going to stare at you and shake my head. Because you're just like, this kid has had enough, dude. Then just don't just like don't just drop that like all their friends we have just been eaten. And I'm gonna just go where's this town they're headed to? Maybe we can take the kid though.
And
Hazu, you're finally awake.
I'll kind of ask
Got ambushed by those gremlins.
I'll ask the
Same
kid
as us
again
and that thief over
for
there.
like reassurance. So it was back to your guys' hometown that this caravan was going to.
The kid nods to Portsmouth.
And the map, am I able to actually tell what areas are where, or all those areas in a different language?
All the areas are written in the non-Elven language. Are you showing the map to the kid?
Yeah, I'll show the map to the kid and see if the kid can understand any of it.
The kid kind of arches an eyebrow and says, "Can Faye not read?"
It's in a different language from what I can read.
She goes, "Ah." She says, "It says here," and she points in a part of the map that isn't very filled out near the grove. And she says, "Warning, fair here."
Mm.
And then she points up to the northeast. That's where the dwarves live. I can't pronounce what it says because dwarf words are hard.
Okay.
Over here, she points to a dot near the border of the woods. That's where Chimera is. I was always told that the Caneth eat children who are naughty and misbehave. She looks
Oh,
over
no,
at
that's the
Juno
Bell
as
set.
she says that. I'm sorry?
We don't eat children. Oh, I said, no, that's the Bell set. We don't eat children.
The mouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you making that up, or is that? Do you want that
Oh,
to be
she
a
just
part of the?
completely made that out.
Okay. Because you
However,
are,
it can be real,
if you want it to be.
and she just doesn't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Uh,
You know, yeah, it's just a story that was told to her, and she tells it to the other children. So yeah, it could be real.
she goes, okay. And then she points towards a cluster of dots that run along the river. Here's Jensford. Here's Coppins Grove, and here is Portsmouth.
Okay.
That's where the
And you're
people
from.
live.
Okay.
I'm
That's wondering where the people lived.
well. My mom and dad are from Copper's Grove, but we're taking the goods to Portsmouth, where we were before the monsters.
Would you like us to help you get back over to your home?
She nods.
Then make the child make a decision.
I just did.
she's like, I want to go home.
All right.
And let's
I want to go home, and I want to
let's
play
take the
with
child
Bren
home.
and Mick again.
Then let's take the child home. Lead the way, math person.
I'll tell the child just to follow us. We'll lead you back there and stay close so you don't get lost.
Wonderful.
So which way are we supposed to go? I like
Well,
going over look at the map.
now you know the way, which means that
I'll
we get to
point-
do a journey.
I'll point on the map.
Do you know the direction?
I'll point on the map where the general area is that we're trying to go for.
Yeah.
And say like.
Yeah,
right
do you know the
here,
direction?
Right here is where she says home is, so we're gonna go that way.
Which way is that way though?
It's about southeast. The important thing is you know the way, so you can actually just make a journey, which means that we're going to have a few steps here because the journey is dangerous and wild. So first,
Dangerous.
one of you, so as you head down, and we say as the sun starts to rise, because it's a longer trip to walk all the way there, one of you is going to notice something. Which one of you would like to do that?
Is it like visually noticing something or audibly noticing something?
It's something about this territory.
Yes, that's like that specific thing we have to pick.
Yeah, you get to tell me what it is.
Um,
Or if you don't want to, I can. Hint, you want to.
probably just like a visual difference that we'll notice.
Yeah, go ahead and describe it to me.
Oh, like the forest starts to get a little darker than what we're used to. Like the trees start to become more dense, and the light from the moon is starting to become less and less because there's more trees taking up the sky.
Okay. I'm going to draw the Darkwood that you've just found. So, as you go along the journey and pass into the Darkwood, Kerstra,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you find
Mew Mew.
that Kerstra in particular finds that the Darkwood itself sort of dampens the torchlight.
Mm,
So as you're walking through this kind of darker, denser part of the wood, not only is there less light coming from the canopy above, but your torch itself sort of shrinks down and dims.
okay.
What do you do?
Um,
Or actually, no, it's not even a what you do. It's a I need you to roll knowing.
I don't know. Gotta put myself on the right tab so I can see everything right. So knowing is that. That is 6. Barely. I barely missed it.
Oh, you
You
described it.
may
So
have
you
missed the
described
roll.
this. So you get advantage. So instead of rolling 2d6, you roll 3
You
and
may
take the
have
best 2.
failed the roll, but
Okay.
you succeeded in the story.
So I'll just roll one more and then take the
Yeah.
highest because that would be 3.
Yep.
That is 11.
Okay. So go ahead and you get to describe how you handle this situation positively. The torches dim, but you get to describe how you cope with that in a positive outcome.
Um, that's hard to think of. I'll probably just tell like the other two just to keep a little closer. Our field of view is kind of hindered down a little bit from this mysterious darkness here in the woods.
All right. The child will come up and hold your hand as you go. And at this point, either of you, if you want to investigate the Darkwood and what's going on, you can stop the journey here. Or if neither of you wants to, we can keep going.
Onward to inevitable death.
Kerstra, are you also in favor of keeping going?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I need to move over towards Juno because this whole process
And
happens for
Juno.
both of you. You're going to notice something about the territory as you pass out of the Darkwood.
Alright.
What do you
Is this
notice?
vigilance?
Nope, there's no. This
Or am
is
I
just
just
you tell me
saying...
what you notice, and if you don't want to, I can make something up.
there's a very thin mist on the ground.
Okay.
Not mist, fog.
Is this in addition
But it's
to the
like
Darkwood?
Yeah, it's edition. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Like, it started. It wasn't already here.
So we're going to expand the Darkwood a little further. And we're going to add a mist zone.
Yeah.
Meow meow meow.
Yep.
And would you roll plus knowing with advantage? Kindly.
Ten.
No, with advantage isn't you do the whole roll twice. It's you roll 3 and take the highest 2.
So I am confused.
So
I haven't had advantage yet, so.
okay, so you'd have instead of so it wouldn't be 10. It would be you roll a 3, a 2, and a 4. So it would be 7.
You take the
So
highest. You roll
Okay.
3 and you take the highest 2 rolls.
yep. So you also get to describe how you handled the situation positively. But something is going to go a little bit wrong, and you can tell me what it is, or I can tell you. How do you
there's
handle it?
fog. That's it. I point out there's fog.
You point out there's fog, and you just keep walking. Okay.
Hello.
And as you point out that there's fog, and the fog builds and thickens, it kind of sticks to everyone's legs. It's less like walking through fog and more like walking through mud. But the mud is fog. And as a catfolk, you have kind of like the fur thing going on, yes?
Yeah.
So as you leave the mists, that mist mud is still sticking to your fur. Is going to cause you some difficulty moving for a while. And again, if anyone wants to stop and investigate the mist mud, they can.
Huh. The air's turning to soup. Behind Hiwang.
Super.
Okay.
What?
You walk. The Darkwood and the mist mud are not enough to stop you and pull your attention away from your goal.
Oh, yeah, Juno is not very vigilant.
That's fine. And as you
Thanks for the hydrating.
step out of the woods and enter into kind of as you step forward, you will actually leave the woods and you will see sort of a steep hill falling away into a broad, endless, sparkling blue water. The sun is almost painfully bright outside of the woods. And below, along the hills and along the coasts, you can see dozens of villages stretching along the edge of the water. You can see rows and rows of farmland, and you can see what you assume must be Portsmouth in the distance, because it is where most of these villages are made out of like cobblestone and are relatively small. That one is made out of like tall, multi-story plaster buildings and has great billowing ships sitting out on the bay. It's been about 2 days that you've been walking through the woods. So I am going to give you downtime, which is a long rest. Do any of you want to explore kind of what you do as you recover from several days marching through the woods?
Uh,
Or do we just want to keep hurrying forward?
Um,
Basically, do you have things you want to do when you stop to set camp and recover from walking for 2 days straight?
Probably just get some food in our systems if we haven't done that.
Okay. Do any of you want to do a bond scene? So that would be just like a scene where you talk to somebody else about life and your problems.
Hmm.
The people
Man, life is
being
a
you
problem.
two and this unnamed child. I mean, she's named, but no one's asked her name.
Uh,
Don't ask their name. If you name them, they'll get attached.
Okay.
That's the thing I've
oh,
learned.
there's Bingus. No.
No, if you want to, you can. And just goofing around.
You don't have to do bonds because you haven't stopped to actually like build anything. So what I do need is everyone to roll. So I need everyone to roll or to announce someone to roll 2d6.
Hmm.
That'll be
Um,
2d6.
me?
Yeah, it's easier because I can't, it's
Alright.
easier for you because I have a whole tablet in front of me.
Okay. That's a 5 and a 4.
Okay. So as you get out, as you settle, as you take your breath, collectively you do notice a worrisome detail about the surroundings.
Hmm.
Do you two want to tell me what it is? Or do you want me to think of one?
Um,
By which I mean I know what I will pick already, but you get the chance to tell me what it is that you see if you want.
um, I'm leaning more towards like having you say it this time because I want to see what you think of.
So
Yeah, I'm fine
worrisomely,
with that.
as you're sitting here and you're seeing all these hundreds or thousands of people teeming in the valley below along the water's edge, everyone that gets close enough to make out details is suffering from the blight.
Hmm.
Every last one of them.
It's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. Your choice not to tell me what you were worried about has doomed this entire world's population. Yay. But yeah. Um,
I figured the entire world was already going to be kind of like crumbling down anyways because of the blight.
yeah. But now we know that at least the entire human population seems to be infected.
Hmm.
So,
Makes
you
sense too because like the kid's infected too, but even though my character doesn't know it.
yeah. So as you are now rested and recovered, What do you want to do? You see Portsmouth in the valley below, maybe another day's trip away.
I'll point over to it and ask the child, is that your home?
She says, "That's Portsmouth. That's where we were taking the goods. My family comes from there." And she points down towards a piece of farmland where several houses are clustered around a crossroads by a just a few rows of very orderly planted fruit trees.
Okay. I would say we'll just like gather our stuff and work our way over, unless there's objection to it.
Yeah, Jackson.
Okay. So, as you walk down the hill and into the valley and along the road toward Cooper's Grove, um, there are people. And as the people are scurrying around their business, first they seem to notice Juno and start giving a wide berth. And then as they get closer, they notice your elven features, Kersta, and almost every time they do, they stop and kind of go slack-jawed and stare. Like, they seem to be frightened of Juno, but not like in a, this is unusual way.
Mm,
But you're pretty sure you're the first elf that any of these people have actually seen.
okay. Um,
And by these people, I mean like a dozen people over the course of the day as you walk along the road.
yeah.
I'm used to it. I don't think much of it.
My character's anxiety is gonna kinda flare up just because she's not used to this many like different people. She's only used to like how many's in her little small grove there.
Yeah.
She's starting to realize that there's a lot more people than what she originally anticipated, and is gonna be a little anxious.
Yeah, gosh, this is maybe, you've already walked past maybe a fifth of the population of the Grove, and it's just people carrying things from one place to another. But yeah, so after about a day's trip, as the sun starts to set, the two of you and this child approach this crossroads. And you can see a few buildings at the crossroads. One of them has a little upside down arch on a sign with a bunch of horses. You would recognize from stories horses in a pen outside. Another has a like balance scale. A third has a loaf of bread on a sign, and all three, and both of those two, the balance scale and the loaf of bread place, seem to be closed as the sun sets. And then the last place doesn't have a sign, but it has doors that are wide open, fires inside, and a sound of lots of people in there conversing. It's an inn. It's an inn. There's an inn. You just have never seen an inn before.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Um, there's the inn and just those animal pens.
Yeah, there's the
Trying
inn,
to remember.
there's the stables, and then there's well, there's a trade shop and a um bakery.
Meow
at the
meow.
crossroads. But the shop and the bakery are closed, being evening.
Okay. Um, I'll ask the child, what direction is it from here to get to your home?
She looks at you and says, "Well, Mom and Dad lived in a house over there, but they locked it before we left."
Yeah, we should probably find family.
I was just about to ask that. If the child knew any others in there, like anyone else they
Our
were close with.
my uncle and my other uncle and their wives and their sons came with us. That's Bren and Mick and their dads. And you see the little look of on the child's face as she realizes her entire family is dead.
Mm.
Oh no, you have an orphan. You have an orphan in a small town. What do you do? I've given you a
Uh,
I've given you a situation crafted to Juno.
bug.
Actually crafted to both of
Uh,
you because both of you have family things.
What's a family? I just take
Exactly.
care of children.
What is a family? So yeah, you are in this crossroad in front of the inn. An elf, a catfolk, and a small child who apparently has no surviving family.
And often a cow walk into a bar.
Do you bring the child with you?
The child's too short. Yeah, I was making a joke.
uh, so yeah, are you going into the inn though?
Yeah, we should probably find somewhere to take the child.
Okay.
So she asked for like directions or something.
Who do you want to ask directions?
Well, Kerstra says nobody will approach me. Have fun. And I pat you on the shoulder as everybody like moves away from me.
So are you going into the inn?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, sure.
As you enter the inn, like there's a lot of conversation, people chatting. Uh, at first, no one notices you. Then somebody notices Juno and goes a little quiet, and then starts to stand up like, "We don't serve your kind in here," and then stops as they see Kersta and just again go quiet and slack jawed and just confused. And as that first person does that, kind of the whole place gets quiet and turns to look straight at Kersta, who, if she hasn't avoided it, the small child whose name you have yet to ask is clinging still to her hand. What do you do? There's probably
Yeah, meow.
there's probably
Yeah,
about 50 people in the Grove, and there's probably at least that many people in this tavern right now. And this tavern is maybe a little bit bigger than your family's dining room. So it's the equivalent of having the entire grove in one room staring at you for your anxiety's purposes.
Yeah, that's the big thing I'm thinking of, because that's like the most important like feature that I'm trying to have on like my character, the fact that she has like that anxiety.
Mhm.
Um, matter of trying to figure out how I'm putting myself into this situation. I know my character, of course, is going to be super anxious on the fact that there's that many people in just one room.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I should probably also note that the room is not full. There are empty chairs. So there could be more people, but there aren't.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
I'm drawing a complete blank in my head right now.
All right. So Juno, as you've walked in and the entire room is turned to look at you, you can see out of the corner of your eye that Kerstra has completely frozen up in the doorway.
Honk. Chris, I'm like another. Chris, I'm like so patting her like, hey, these people literally will not acknowledge me.
And the kid
They'll
sort of
just
pulls on your hand and says, maybe we should go sit down?
yeah, no, I'll kind of like follow with the kid, just like, yeah, let's go take a seat somewhere.
Okay. And as you come in and you sit down, kind of people start turning to each other. And instead of the loud conversations earlier, there's a lot of quiet whispering. And you can hear from nearby tables the caught whispered voices of, is what's a Fae doing here? With a Cannith even. And that child is that little Christy? And a an older gentleman with mostly white hair streaked with little bits of his original red is going to come over and go, it's not often we have your sort in this part. Do you have coin?
Since we're from the Grove, I would assume that we probably didn't, just because we would hunt most of our food. So I'm just gonna kind of tell the man, no, we're just resting.
The man's going to look at you, and the girl says, Mr. Redford, of course they don't have coin. She's a fairy. And her pet. And the man looks down and goes,
Juno is going to yell out that she's not a pet. Very grumpily.
as you yell out
I'll
that
have you know. I chase my own mice, okay? I don't need anyone else giving it to me. In fact, I'm the best in the grove.
the
And then she leans back in her chair.
the older gentleman looks at you and says, of course. And you can hear a few people snickering at the tables around. They seem to be a lot more relaxed than they were a few moments ago. But the kid goes, "Hi, Mr. Redford. Bad things happened." And he goes, "Yes. Where are your parents?"
Meow meow meow.
I
Do
wasn't sure
either
if the kid was answering or not.
do either of you want to
That's why I
answer?
was quiet.
I will always let you two
Hold on,
answer
I'm
before an NPC does.
I have to take a second to think after drawing. What's it called?
And if you want to stay quiet and let the kid speak, you can be quiet and let the small child be the party face.
I'm just trying to figure out if
I
she's
don't want the
speaking.
small child to be a party face.
I'm sorry? Seika?
I don't want an NPC to be a face.
Okay, yeah. So, the smart child will answer if you don't. Let's put it that way.
Just have to swap from drawing to answering a question.
Or Kersta can, if Kersta wants to answer.
Yeah, Kirsten can do it.
It just sounded like you were getting ready to say something, so.
I don't know if you're ever gonna say anything. So I just say stuff.
So it's just one
Because,
person
trust
asking
me,
us
you
this?
don't want Gino to answer some of these questions.
I mean, I do.
You might end up in more trouble than we're getting into.
So it's just one person that's asking us
Yeah.
that question?
It's just one older gentleman who
Okay.
the child, apparently Christy, has called Mr. Redford.
Meow meow.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's a little bit on the sensitive side, but that caravan didn't make it to its destination.
I'm gonna look at him and like bite my arm. Like, showing like, gesturing that they've been eaten.
You're doing what?
I'm like gesturing like, I'm not saying it, but I'm showing like I'm biting my arm, like I'm biting my arm, I'm like making like things. Trying to gesture that they've been eaten.
The man's looking at you a little bit nervously, but after a few moments he gathers the idea and he opens his eyes and he goes and looks directly at you, Kirsta, kind of clearly not wanting to ask Juno this, as he leans in and asks, "Was it the Caniff?"
Juno's over there pouting.
I'll tell him that I'm not familiar with what that word is, but this child was kind of mumbling about Caddis when we found her.
You're traveling with a Caniff.
Okay.
The Caniff raid the settlements and steal livestock and sometimes eat the people they capture. Everyone knows this.
I can at least say this as reassurance. This one doesn't. She's been my friend for ever since we taken her in.
Uh, of course. Um, so it wasn't Kenneth that ate them?
And I've been calling them blight monsters.
The,
They're like monster things that come out of the blight.
um, as you say that, the tables around you go quiet, and the silence washes through again, just as kind of a wait, what? And the man's eyes widen. Um, he, I should probably note, is the first person you've seen outside of the Grove who doesn't seem directly impacted by the blight.
Mm.
He is unmarred, apparently. And as as you say that, he turns and looks to Christy, and he says very seriously, "Did any of the monsters touch you, girl?" And she looks up at him and she nods. One of them tried to grab me. And as he leans down and looks at the girl's face, his eyes widen, recognizing what you noticed a while ago, Juno. And he mutters back, saying little prayers of horror as he's apparently noticed that the child is blighted. What do you do?
Kirsta's gonna just look over in shock and uh, since I've never like asked the child like formally, just be like, "Are you okay?"
And
And
she,
Juno's gonna interrupt, go, yeah, the child's fine. So anyway, uh,
anyway,
is there anywhere safe we can leave her? We're trying to find a cure for the blight, or we can have a child with us.
um, everyone kind of around the room starts to snicker a little, except this man, who nods and furrows his brow. If it was just a Kenneth alone saying that, I wouldn't I wouldn't put much thought in it, but you travel with Fae. And to my knowledge, a Fae hasn't left the forest since I was a young child. Gosh, 60
Yeah, they're a little
years
stuck
ago?
up.
60 years ago. Ah, I don't even recall his name. He said he was the High Druid's son.
Was immediately what I was sitting there thinking about. I'm like, "Oh,
He said he was coming to heal the blight too. He looks to Christy and says, "Child, you've been blighted. It looks like around your eyes." And she nods. They itch. And he nods. Then he looks back to you, Kirsta. And then towards Juno, kind of picking up that Kersta's not comfortable and Juno is. He says to Juno, "There's a temple in Portsmouth that treats the blight. Since it's early,
Are they successful at it?
they can stop it from spreading. Since it's early,
It's more than the elves do.
he stops mid-sentence as you say that and looks back at, like, he looks confused for a moment at the word elf, and then kind of puts pieces together that elf means fae, looks over at Kersta and goes, "The blights touched the fae?"
Yeah, it's started to spread over to our village too.
Oh, goodness.
That's why we're out trying to get rid of all of this. No one would do it.
Right. If you take Christy to the temple, they can stop the blight. I can ask around to see if there's anyone who has the ability to take in a child. And if they don't, the temple should be able to accept her as a priest or as a priest's apprentice. To my knowledge, that was the last place that the High Druid's son went also, to speak with the previous abbot.
Whatever that is.
So I can set you up here for the night and give you dinner and breakfast. And they can probably sup you at the temple. But you're going to want to find a way to get some coin to make your way out here. And he picks up kind of a little disc of copper. You know, it seems entirely too little copper to be useful for anything. It's almost like a little art object. It has like a face on one side and like some letters on the other. And he says, "We use these for currency." And then he gives each of you 2 pieces for the gate toll at Portsmouth. I know the Cannith eat meat. Is there anything I need to worry about dietary-wise? I've never served Fae before.
Just a salad would do fine.
Right. I'll send some food over. And he leans over and he kind of pats Christy on the shoulder, keeping his hand very far away from her face. "You'll be all right." And he heads off to leave
Meow meow.
the 3 of you
Meow,
alone
meow.
at your table. What do you do?
I'm gonna look at the kid and tell her not to rub her eyes.
She nods and takes her hand away from her face. Kersta, what, if anything, are you going to do?
I would think that she currently already has her like worry stone in hand, just like under
Hear
the
me?
table, just kind of holding it.
Okay.
She's just gonna sit there and just kind of observe the surrounding area, just try to take it all in on what all's actually happening around her.
Yeah.
Because she's not used to an environment like that.
Okay. So mostly you're seeing the local townsfolk and the local, like, villagers from the fields stopping by for dinner before they head off to their various apartments in the buildings around the crossroad. This is very much one of those medieval town situations where everyone kind of lives in these sort of small apartments, small little two-story apartments at the crossroad, and then goes out into the fields and comes back again. The volume is actually starting to get louder as they've started to realize, number one, that Juno isn't going to eat anybody, and number two, that no weird magic's going to come out of the Fae.
Hi, Sam.
So, yay.
Oh, people don't taste good anyway.
People don't taste good. That is a fact I can attest to. So yeah. You're going to be brought out not great food. You're gonna kind of just get a low quality salad and kind of the almost the scraps of meat for Juno. Like, it's obvious he's going out of his way to make sure that you have enough food, but he also has a business to run and isn't going to, like, serve you the best thing on the menu.
Kusa, can you believe it? They gave me a feast.
Yeah, it is actually more than you are accustomed to getting from the orphanage. It is much less than you're accustomed to,
similar, just like
Kerstra.
they actually treat you nice here.
Yeah. It's far less than Kerstra is accustomed to, though.
I want to say nice, they just treat me better. The bar is very low.
It's in the dirt. So, this will be just another situation for bond scenes if you want to roleplay any of them. Between Kerstra and Juno, or between either of you and Christy. Gosh, why did I name her Christy when I have a Kerstra?
Yeah, I don't know why he did that, but that's kind of funny.
I was thinking I should try and give the humans very normal sounding names. And then just spell them silly.
I don't think I'm really gonna try anything.
Okay.
Rabbit's being loud next to me.
And are you going to be trying anything, Seika?
Okay, so Juno is she's gonna go to Kursa and you really need to step up. It's very obvious nobody's going to like me in your room. So you need to be able to interact with people when I can't.
I'll kind of just tell back to her that this is a lot more people than what I've been used to. I've never seen this
Well,
many
it's
people
going to
in
get a
one
lot
area
worse.
before.
This is going to be the easy part.
And I know I'll have to get over it eventually. This is one step that I'm going to end up taking. It's going to take a lot more steps before I get there fully, though.
Well, you need to actually take the steps instead of
I am.
letting other people throw you into it.
This is this one time though. I'm trying to work on stuff.
But it hasn't been this one time. It's been every time. We said we were going to cure the blight. But you can't just tiptoe around it.
I just didn't expect there to be this many people in this one area. I still want to get this all cured. It just kind of took me by surprise. I didn't expect people in the first place.
Now it's going to get a lot bigger from here.
I guess we'll just have to see what the world throws at us.
You need a facer that throws at you instead of hiding from him.
I know.
Oh.
I'll figure my way out.
And knowing that you're about to walk into the most densely populated city on the map is very funny to me. Yeah. If there's nothing else, we can pass through to the next morning.
Okay.
I think that would probably be it.
Yeah. The inn room is a very simple, quiet affair. Couple of soft beds in a small little room. Again, everything is much tighter and more cramped than Krista's used to. And a little bit nicer than Juno's used to. Like, Juno, part of you is like, oh, you could fit a third bed in here. But you could make them bunks. But in the next morning,
We can throw some grass in the corner. Like 2 or 3 people.
The next morning, you'll be given a nice little breakfast of eggs and bacon. Except for Kersta, you'll be given 2 tomatoes that have been sliced in half. And a like little pile of steamed carrots.
All right.
And as you eat, Mr. Redford will come by again. He'll make sure that each of you still has those 2 copper that he gave you for the toll.
Yep, I made sure I put mine in my satchel.
Yep, I sure do.
Yeah. And he will
I
hand
gave
you.
it to Kirsten so I don't lose it.
And he'll hand you, Kersta, he'll hand you 2 letters. This one, he says, is for the gate guards. It's a letter explaining that you are on your way in to visit the temple and that you're accompanying a blight-stricken youth. It should keep the guards from causing trouble because of your Cannith friend. And this is a letter for the abbot of the temple. He and I went to the school together in Portsmouth, so it should at least get you in to speak with him about your ambitions. Well, that's it, I guess. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
If you can do
Yeah, we're
it,
gonna need
the
it.
world will be endlessly grateful.
Make sure I'm writing this stuff down too.
Perfectly fine, yeah. It's good for you to keep your own notes.
I'm
After all.
writing down the
Yeah,
note that we have for that, the fact that I'm holding on to both of our currencies.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can't eat it, what's the value?
2 copper is the value, actually.
Whatever that value is.
Apparently, it's one person's passage past the gate to Portsmouth. So, when you're ready, let me know, and we can enjoy Kersta's looming panic attack, probably.
We'll see. 'Cause
Um,
I'm trying to fit
Oh,
into.
definitely.
It's more that I'm trying to fit into my character and not play how I usually play these style of games.
okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. So,
If I'm playing it how I usually play these, I usually just blow it off.
well, so Mr. Redford points you down the road towards Portsmouth, although you don't really need his direction because you can see about half a day's journey away a wall, and above it peeking a number of houses going on basically to as far as you can see. And as you walk along the road, there are increasingly more and more people until, as you approach the actual gate, you see 3 lines, each stretching back about half a mile, of carts and people that stop and move slowly. Dozens and dozens and dozens
Well,
of
this is gonna be
people.
fun.
Uh, and as you get into one of those lines, more people start gathering behind you. And when one of the lines moves forward and you don't immediately go with you, the person behind you says, "Hey, get moving, we don't have all day." Snapping at you. What do you do, Kirsta?
He's just gonna move up a little.
Okay.
Just keep up with the line.
So you're gonna just keep on keeping on with the line?
Yep. Just kind of treat it as like how the grove tends to just get aggressive.
Uh, yeah, but there's a lot
Try,
more people.
just to try to work on her anxiety. That's how she's thinking of it.
All right. Tell me, what are you afraid would happen if you fail?
Meow meow.
Kirsta, what are you afraid will happen if you fail to work on your anxiety and kind of keep on keeping on?
I don't even know.
Like, what exactly do you think Kirsta would be afraid of if she had a panic attack right here in the middle of this crowd?
Probably the biggest thing that she would be just worried about is Juno just being upset that she's not working, that Kirsten's not getting the anxiety figured out.
All right. Would you give me a roll plus daring to see if you can your keep yourself together in the face of this?
That is 4.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
I have a -1 to daring.
Yes, I know. Well, so yeah, you can keep it together pretty well at first, but you're not accustomed to how quickly everyone steps forward and steps forward. And as you do, and you start fiddling further and further with your worry stone, you squeeze it and then you suddenly feel it gone. And you see that it rolls over and lands in one of the carts in the next line. It's just popped out of your fingers as you're worrying it. What do you do?
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, Juno, you see this too.
And it like bounced out into the other line you said?
Into one of the carts in the other line.
Hmm.
So it's not just on the ground, it's in someone's cart. I love that your avatar has just got this absolute look of horror.
I gotta fix my posture. I should probably make a redeem for that.
That's hard to think of. Because, like, I have myself in, like, Kirsten's mind, and it's, like, a back and forth battle, just like, should I try to go for that? But if I try to go for that, they're going to think I'm stealing from them if someone sees me. And if someone sees me trying to grab what I was after, am I going to get taken away? Are they going to do something to me? That's, like, all the stuff going through her mind currently.
Okay. Juno, what do you do? As you watch Kirsta's stone pop out of her hand and fly into this next cart.
Uh, um, I just look at it nervously.
And the cart in front of you in line moves forward, and the voice behind you says, "Hey, beast and beast lover, keep moving."
Kirsta's gonna think as like a final response in her mind that just thinking back to what Juno was saying, that I'm gonna have to get over my anxiety and start stepping up for myself. She's gonna kind of just let out a sigh and just look back forward and continue moving forward and just start fidgeting with her fingers instead.
Oh, all right. So you're leaving the stone there.
She's gonna try to take a step to try to work on her anxiety.
Okay.
Try to have less of a crutch.
You no longer have the worrying stone.
Yep. I'm curious on Juno's
Meow, meow.
response to that.
Yeah. Juno, she just steps forward in line without her worrying stone.
I'm gonna reach for the worry stone.
The worry stone's in the next line in a cart.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the worry stone.
Alrighty. So as you walk over to the next line, like there's a bit of a "what the hell are you doing?" and people backing away, and like one person breaks out of the line and starts running towards the gate. And there's the cart. Do you like climb into the cart?
I mean, do I have to?
If you want to get the stone.
Am I able to just reach in?
It's like a
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it then.
okay. You climb into the cart, and the person who's owning the account is just like shouting "thief, thief, thief." But you can see the worry stone.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna raise it above my head. I'm gonna
Okay.
say, my friend dropped this. I don't give a shit about your whatever this garbage is. And I'm just gonna walk back to Kerstra.
And the guy behind you is like, "Hey, you left the line."
I'm just going to give him a death stare.
You want him to shut up, is I assume what
Like
you
a
want him
really
to do.
strong glare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kirsta's gonna look back and try to step up for a friend too.
I'm gonna raise my finger gun now.
I'm
Like,
sorry?
I knew what you were going to do. I don't want to go back to the start of the line. Like, I see Kerstra move, I'm gonna like stick my head over.
Yeah. The guy shuts up when you glare at him. He's like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, I'm gonna rejoin Kerstra.
Right. So you're in the
And I'm
line.
gonna plant the worrisome in your hand.
Yay.
And I'm gonna tell her, if it helps, it helps. Just don't rely on it too much.
And at about this point, two people in full suits of chainmail with these bright blue tabards with like a black symbol of an anchor on them are going to come running down between the lines, spears drawn, and turn and point them at Juno because, somebody ran and said, there's a Cannith thief. What do you do?
I just stare at them. I didn't do anything.
Kirsta's gonna
I'm gonna
raise her
say
hand
that.
with the worry stone in it and say, "I dropped this by mistake. She grabbed it back for me."
The the three of them kind of look back and forth at one another, and then one more person comes from the front, a little bit more leisurely. Long sword at her hip, no helm on, long, flowing, blonde hair, sort of a crisscrossed mark of blight along her face and neck that, from Juno's experience, should leave her too sick to move, let alone be muscular and leaning over. And as she says, "What did you drop?"
I'll raise my hand and say, "My worry stone."
She looks at the worry stone, leans over to the next line in the cart, the man in the cart, and says, "What goods are you carrying?" And the man says, just apples for the markets. The the Cannith called it garbage and took that worthless pebble." And the woman looks back at you and says, "It's not often that we see a Cannith who isn't ravaging down and felling men by the dozens. What's your name and what's your business?"
I just like, I just stare at her and go, I'm way too weak to even do that. I'm,
Well,
Juno. And we're here to, there's a cat on my lap. I'll show up. And we're here to, I look for like the kid.
the kid is
Because I don't remember,
the kid is holding Kirsta's hand as usual.
Oh, we're taking this child to, whatever that guy said. So what did he
The
say?
temple.
Yeah, nothing.
The woman turns and looks at you, Kirsta. "And what's your name?"
Kirsta.
"Kirsta." "Which village are you from?"
I am part of a grove in the deep woods.
The woman stops, and then she looks at you, looks at your ears, looks back at you, looks at the child, looks over at
Meow meow.
Juno, looks back at you, and goes, "A Deepwoods Fae." Oh my. Leave the line. Come with me directly. And she steps
Tommy
out of
gave
the
her my
line.
guards worked out.
Yeah. She steps out of the line and starts walking towards the front. What do you do?
Um, I'll step out and follow her up to the front.
Woo, let's go. You get a shortcut.
And as you approach the front, you can see one of the guards at the gate turning and saying, "Captain, is it true that we have a raider?" And that guard kind of goes quiet as Juno comes walking through. And then
Meow meow.
the just the woman goes, "Not now," and walks into the gate, turns off towards the side where there's a door, opens it, and gestures you two to go in, you three to go inside.
As we go through, I look back, like, bare my things at the guy.
The
Just to,
guy
like, freak them out.
the guy kind of clutches his spear more tightly. Everyone except for this woman is
Wonderful, I love it.
holding like long spears. And as you walk into this room inside the gate, she has you sit down at a table, and then she sits down not next to you, but like across from you, and says, "All right. What takes..."
I lean over to, before she speaks, I went over to, Kerstra. And Jenna's like, I think I could take her. What do you think?
I'll just kind of mumble back, just like, now's not the time.
She's going to look at you, look over at Juno, having pretty obviously heard you say that, and then look back to Kirsten and say, "What brings a Fae out of the Deepwood?"
Our grove is
Meow meow.
being blighted.
The whole dang world's being blighted. The whole world's been blighted since before I was born. Why? What brings you out now?
No one's stepping up to cure it. So we decided to do so.
To cure it. The priests say that the blight is a curse sent by the gods to punish humankind for its overuse of magic. What do you mean, cure it?
Well,
Twitch,
there
can you
has to be
stop?
some way.
Twitch, can you stop?
Her cat.
Both the chat and my cat.
Uh, well. What did you say, Kirsta?
I said, well, there has to be a way to cure it.
Hmm.
No one's making the effort to try to find it. So we decided to step up and do so ourselves.
Interesting. And what's the child got to do with this?
We found the child on our way out of the forest. We were trying to bring the child back home and found out that she was blighted. And was told to bring her here.
To the temple.
Mhm.
All right. In the future, there's a fourth line that we reserve for the blighted that comes directly to the quarantine zone. He looks to the child. Did you touch anyone? And she shakes her head no. This woman looks to the two of you. Are either of you blighted?
No.
All right.
Somehow I'm not.
Well, I asked for thoroughness, but it's common knowledge that the Cannith are immune to the blight.
This explains so much.
Uh, well, I'll.
I'm literally the only whatever you call me, in the grove.
I see. Well, I'll have the temple send a plague cart. Wait here, and when they arrive, their plague bearers will come to take the child. And then you can return to this grove and do your business. And the guard stands up and is starting to leave the room.
Hold on, what's that cart going to take her?
The plague cart will take her to the temple to be treated. And the beast and the fae can leave and return where you came from.
We won't be going back to the grove.
We're not going back until we solve this.
I'm sorry? What
You heard
business do you have in Portsmouth?
To bring the child back here.
And you've done so you have
And
no
then we
more
can,
business here.
Yep, so we're going to continue on past.
Wait, can it, what if the temple has information that we might be able to work with?
The former
Should we
abbot
go
of the
there too and
temple
figure it out?
The former abbot of the temple was the last person that you know of who spoke to the High Druid's son.
Yeah.
And you do have a
What
letter
if he
for
has
the guards and a
information?
letter of introduction to the temple.
Okay, so what was on the letter? I forgot.
One
I
of
don't know,
them
I
is
can
for the
read.
guards and one is for the temple. You haven't actually opened and read either of them.
Oh, okay.
But also,
Um,
neither of you can read the human tongue.
I'll grab the letter that's for the guards and give it to the guard and tell the guard this was handed to us.
She furrows her
here.
brow, takes a knife out of her belt, slices open the letter, opens it, reads it, looks up at you, looks back and says, "You really are a stranger here. When I ask you what business you have, and you say that you need to go to the temple, mention that you're going to speak to the abbot next time. That's business."
What's an habit?
The abbot is the person in charge of the temple.
Okay, we haven't heard about this. We just had letters that we needed to bring to you and a letter we brought to the temple.
Ah, Well, it says that you are on some sort of quest from the High Druid, and you are to speak to the abbot about the High Druid's son. Is
Yep.
this correct?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what happened to him.
Ah. That is business. There is no fee for the child. The child is going on the plague cart. For the two of you, I will need 2 copper pieces apiece for the gate tax.
I'll pull the copper pieces out of the satchel and say this is for both of us.
The woman nods. Very well. She points to the door. There's the door. Turn left to enter town. If anyone gives you trouble, tell them that Captain Patricia Gosh, what last name should I give Patricia? Captain Patricia Seaborn gave you direct access to the city after paying your tax.
Samuel.
All right.
Woohoo! And that gives us some information about Patricia. Yay!
Hell yeah, we've made progress.
Yeah. I don't think either of you know what that means, but I know what that means.
Words in the language that we can understand.
Yes. As
Hey,
you
that
get
wasn't
out,
so bad.
as you get out, she also just kind of points and says, "The temple is at the center of town, 2 miles directly that way. It's the tallest building. You can't miss it."
All right.
And as you pass through the gates, you find yourself basically in Kersta's hell.
Wonderful.
The people here are shoulder to shoulder. It is just a mass of people, and people are pushing through, fighting through. It's not quite crush mode, but you are not going to be able to make your way towards the temple without your shoulders brushing up against people in the crowd.
And you said everyone in this village is blighted?
Actually, no. Now that you're in the city, most people here are not blighted.
Okay.
A couple
That's the
people
part I'm thinking about now.
have blight scars, but they are few, and people give them a little birth.
Samuel.
People give Juno a little birth. People don't give Kersta a birth. People don't seem to have noticed yet that Kersta is not human. But because Kersta doesn't have any obvious blight scars, no one seems to keep a distance. Which means that you get jostled basically constantly once you get out of the gate.
What's she so worried about?
Yeah.
I could have taken it. No problem.
So what do you do?
Samuel.
He's just gonna try to go through the crowd and try to get to that area that we were trying to go to.
Yeah, and because we're getting a little late, there's no good reason not to just let you push through. That said, Kersta, you are absolutely going to be nervous and suffering
Mm-hmm.
disadvantage the next time you have to roll before you get a chance to
Yeah,
like
I can
Yeah.
imagine
really
like her
rest.
hands are super shaky and everything.
Yeah. Um, Juno, are you going to do anything on the way to the temple?
I'm just going to try to I'm going to try to distract her so with small talk about
Okay.
really dumb stuff.
How many butterflies did you see today? 12.
Yeah. You know
I'm
what?
gonna be like, do you know how scary that lady was? Just terrifying, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect someone in like full armor to especially a group of them to show up.
Yeah, you see? And they were scary. So look at these people. They're nothing in comparison.
It's still a lot to try to handle. I get where you're coming from on it.
And I'm
It's
pretty
just
sure that if it came down to it, I could have handled her. Like I'm Juno, you know me.
hmm
I could have taken her on. What do you think? Do you think I could have done it?
probably.
You know what? No, if a fight broke out, no way. I can't fight her. I could definitely take her on.
Does this help, Kersta?
We'll say yeah. Just
Okay.
because it's keeping her mind distracted.
And it's
And
not even remotely serious.
yeah, and I'll let that. Yeah, that'll cancel out the kind of lingering disadvantage. And you can see the temple in the center of the town. Um, as I
We
said,
should
it is
probably stop
the
here.
largest building. It opens into a large plaza, and in the center of the plaza, there's like these gardens of just blocks of nice rose bushes surrounding a sort of inner plaza that surrounds this big temple and a couple outbuildings. And as you walk up into the temple and push through the doors, which I assume you do, you can see inside that the temple, you know, is lined with statues of the myriad gods of humankind. Are either of you going to be familiar with the gods of humankind?
Nope.
Probably not.
Okay. There are dozens and dozens of them. Maybe each statue is maybe about a foot and a half tall, and they're stacked in alcoves 5 high, running, each alcove's maybe just wide enough for the statue and for various offerings. And they just go all the way from the front of the temple to the back. And there are like little like elevator things where you can lift up offerings for higher up gods. But there are dozens and dozens of them, and they all kind of arch up towards this goddess in the very back. A tall, gorgeous woman wearing flowing robes carved out of some sort of blue stone, who is eyeless and holding a great scale. There are people kind of crouched around most of the gods on this first level, maybe one or two per alcove, sitting, kneeling, praying. And then as you approach that big goddess in the back, you can see at least 24 people kneeling in prayer at a time. It isn't like a church, there isn't like organized service, but people are coming, they're giving their offerings, they're kneeling to pray, and then they're leaving again. and you can see a number of people who are all wearing solid brass masks, completely featureless brass masks, and are wrapped in
Yeah, meow.
blue robes, who are coming through and kind of gathering up offerings as they start to overflow and carrying them away. What do you do?
Um, doesn't seem like there's any sort of like general sinful person that we try to talk to sitting around us.
There is not. If you're looking for someone in particular, you're going to have to kind of be forward about it.
And you said all the bronze mask people are all kind of moving stuff away.
Yeah, most of them are up near the main statue because that's where most of the people are coming to throw offerings, and the offerings seem to be fruit and flowers mostly, but some people seem to be throwing coins. And then a couple of them kind of walk back and forth along the way and gather up offerings from those lower shrines into great big baskets. Not as much like they're gathering offerings to the temple, but as they're trying to keep the alcoves from overflowing.
Um, and there's like no other doors that we could see in there.
There are a couple of doors near the back behind the tall goddess statue, and those are where the masked people are taking the various offerings that they gather.
I'll kind of go up towards the main statue and try to see if I can get the attention of one of the masked people.
Sure, how do you do that?
Um, I'll try to get over to where I would normally be visible because I'm not sure if they actually see through that. Um, but I'll try to get up to where normally you would be visible and try to like wave my hand like off near them and just be like, "Hey, excuse me,
Yeah.
can I ask you something?"
And as you get close enough, you can see that there are narrow slits at eye level on each of the masks. And
Okay.
as you wave at one and say that, the person looks at you, drops what they're carrying, and hurries into the back door.
I'll kind of like look over at Juno and be like, "I wonder what that all was about."
I don't know. Everybody does that to me.
Kind of odd for it to happen around me.
Yeah.
I kind of
Oh
see how
well,
you
I
feel
get
now.
it. You're privileged.
I see how you feel now.
Yeah. And the basket full of like old fruit and flowers is now at your feet. What do you do?
That sure is the basket.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I said that sure is the basket.
It sure is.
I'll probably sit there and wait for a little longer to see if that guard comes back out. A little longer being like maybe a minute or two.
Um, and about 2 minutes, right when you're about ready to give up and move on, the door opens again, and the masked and robed person comes out alongside another robed person who is not wearing a mask and has no eyes. As in, they've been, like, removed.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's creepy.
that person gets led over to you and says, I'm a speaker of the temple. What do you need?
We have a letter that we were needing to deliver here and ask a few questions about my uncle's son, the high elf in the grove.
The eyeless priest stops for a moment. I'm not familiar with this word elf.
Fae is what they've
Fae.
been calling me.
A fae comes to the temple. Right. Come with me. Or, follow the silent. Gesturing to the masked priest, who leads you back towards one of those doors.
And I'll continue to follow
Um,
and make sure and kind of look back to see if Juno's following too.
are you following,
Yeah,
Juno?
Juno's following.
Okay. The room behind those doors is full of deep pits that are full of fire. These masked priests that are carrying the baskets are dumping them into the flames. So you can imagine the smell as they're just dumping baskets of roses and fruits and coins into these fires. It's thick with just discordant perfumes. And the silent leads you along walkways through that room to a staircase that goes up. And at the top, there is another set of doors. And beyond it is a office type situation where you have several people behind desks who are all wearing those same blue robes, but no masks this time, making notes in great books. They lead you through that place to another room, which has probably the most luxurious chairs you've ever seen in your life, Kerstra. These are fine velvet, fine carved wood, maybe ivory handles. There are shelves lined with books. There's deep black wooden table, bowls full of sweet fruits, a pitcher of wine. And as you step in, the eyeless priest says, "This is the waiting room. The abbot will be with you shortly." And that seems like a great place to end for the session.
Yeah, I gotta get going soon.
Any thoughts,
things
questions,
to do.
comments, or concerns?
Not really.
I hope you like the priests. I'm like, oh,
big and scary.
yeah. How do we make this fantasy church sound new and fun and exciting? Make it not a church.
It's a cult.
Not even. Not
Isn't
even.
that every religion?
No.
Everything is a cult.
But yeah,
Even gamers.
gamers are the biggest cult in the universe.
Call.
I need a
What?
cult. Worship me, give me all your money. But yeah,
Band has already done that to me.
we do have our end of session move that we need to do.
Yeah.
So, running down our list, starting with, let's say, Juno. Juno, do you want to reword your issue any?
No, not really.
Okay. Do you feel that it's been resolved?
No.
Do you feel that you took any meaningful action to address it?
I mean, we actually went somewhere and talked to people, so yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and mark a growth. Um, as far as your doubt, do you feel that you want to reword it?
No, it's still good like that.
Okay. Have you mastered it?
I guess, yeah, we moved beyond the fours.
Oh, that is true. Then, yeah, go ahead and mark the 3 growth. You did explain how. That is how your doubt got overcome. I wasn't expecting that to happen that fast, but it did happen.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be a lot longer.
Well, we'll get a new doubt soon. Um, do you feel you were part of a particularly memorable moment this session?
Grabbing the Worry Stone for Krista.
Right? Yeah. So go ahead
You
and
know?
mark an XP for that. You definitely took part in one or more Bond scenes. You started that Bond scene with Kersta in the tavern, so you get an XP there. And something new about your blood came up, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm immune to the blight. I never knew it.
Yeah. So you got 1 extra XP for each of those. You've got 3 XP there.
Awesome.
Um, if you want to now, you can spend 5 or 10 XP for 1 or 2 growth.
Alright, well, that would put me at max growth.
Well,
Take all my growth points.
yeah. If you have 5 of them on the next step, then you get to spend them. So basically, the
So I
question
get
is,
to spend them.
yeah. Okay, so you get to spend those growth and mark once one of the new growth options. Basically, Juno leveled up.
Juno gets stronger.
Yep.
Bunker.
So you can tell us which growth option you picked.
Juno got new bones.
Yeah, the new bones.
Yeah. And the growth options are, well, you can see them. They're right below the growth marks.
Yeah. Let's see, I'll just increase a stat by 1.
Okay. And you
And
get
I'll
to,
increase, I'll increase intense.
alrighty. Then you get to renew The resolved doubt. What's your new doubt?
I don't know. Think of Hibala. We do other stuff.
And then we get to go to do all that for Kersta. Your issue. Do you need to reword it?
Meow meow meow.
Has it been resolved?
It seems like it's getting resolved because it seems like people are starting to take me serious now.
Man, I wish people took me serious.
You know what? Yeah, turns out all you needed to do to get taken seriously was get away from your family and go to a place where you're creatures of myth and
I'm a
legend from
big
the
girl, I
Darkwoods.
promise.
So
And
yeah,
everybody thinks I'm gonna eat them.
so
But I won't eat them now.
go ahead and yeah, you can resolve your growth and resolve your issue and mark 3 growth. For your doubt, do you feel you need to reword your doubt?
Meow meow.
I think she's gotten past that and is now thinking what's going to happen to everyone if and when this gets resolved.
Okay, then you'll get to mark 3 more growth. And yes, it caps at 5, so
I'm maxed on that.
so you've overcome your issue and your doubt in 1 session. Probably not going to happen again.
Most likely not, because most of those were like pointed towards my family.
Yeah.
And I'm not around them.
Amazingly, when you're no longer around your family aren't quite as big a concern. No, this is good, interesting character growth. Were you part of a memorable scene?
I had some thought in my head. I gotta try to find them again in my head.
Okay.
I think I was thinking of like 2 or 3 of them. One of them for sure was finding the girl in the forest.
Meow meow.
Then probably learning that there's more to the blight than what we thought. I'm not positive if that is one, but that's at least like a factor that we learned.
Okay, so you at least gain 1 more XP.
Trying to think if there was a third.
You were involved in a bond scene, so you get the 2nd XP there. Do you think anything new came up about your blood or your kin?
For the blood, finding out that it is Fae, and that everyone knows it as a Fae and not an elf. So
Okay.
elf is not a common term.
Sure, yeah. So that would mean you'd have gained 3 XP this session. If you wanted to now, you could spend XP for growth. I'm not sure you want to spend XP for growth.
My growth is maxed right now, so I can't even spend XP for it, really.
Yeah. Do you want to spend growth on a growth option?
Yep. Using this chart.
Is there anything up for Juno?
You
said you have to get going.
I just need to know what your new doubt is.
What if I'm the monster they think I am?
Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Matters for my GM prep knowing what your doubt is. Then yeah, you can go ahead and get going.
I
Raid me so I can raid everyone into somebody else.
uh
Probably just do increase the stat by 1.
Okay.
And that clears all 5.
Yep. Wonderful.
Okay. And I'll increase my daring by 1 to 0.
Oh, you're getting more daring. You are growing.
Since that seems it's like the most common used thing that I've been doing. I've been like putting the most actions for daring. So I'm like,
Yeah.
alright, might as well make that a little better since I'm doing it consistently.
Daring is daring. The daring move is probably the most common move to roll. Yes. Um, and then, what are your new issue and your new doubt?
Um well the doubt I pretty much said a little bit ago, saying like, what's gonna happen to everyone if and when it's cured.
Okay. And what's your new issue? Because you're right, you get away from the woods, people start taking you seriously.
I would say pretty much just the general issue now is just her anxiety. If her anxiety is gonna hold her back.
That's a fun issue too. And with that,
That seems like that's what the biggest problem is currently, is that her anxiety is holding her back from everything,
okay, yeah,
from doing what she would actually want to do.
wonderful. And with that, we're done for the session. Yay.
All right.
Um, Seika never raided in. Oh well. I have a couple of people here, theoretically.
Yeah. Theoretically.
Who should I raid into? A lot of people. Um,
Raid Seika. No.
Seika's not streaming anymore. I can't raid
I
Seika.
know.
And I can't raid Seika normally even because I don't have enough people.
Yeah.
Um, let's say I'm gonna see if I can raid Joe Cat and because it looks like a fun RPG related thing. I might not be allowed to. Oh, I am. Hey, everyone hop in. Is there really only one person?
Could be.
I don't raid with one person. So, thank you for coming by. Any VOD viewers, thank you for watching. And peace.